This is it, guys. It all comes down to this. The finale of this year's character highlight reels. And for today, I figured there was no better way to finish this year's series than by covering the main four H2O mermaids. Cleo, Rikki, Bella, and yes, Emma. Cleo and Rikki were in the series since the beginning, while Emma left after season 2, and Bella was only a part of one season. But these four are pretty significant in terms of their characters. And in fact, these guys are the first fully live-action characters that I am covering for this series, not counting Thomas or the Teletubbies, as they were taken into the CGI realm as time went on. Well, kind of for the Teletubbies, but that's neither here nor there. Well, what are we waiting for, eh? Let's end this year's series with a bang, and see what these four wonderful girls bring to the waters. Cleo, Rikki, and Emma debuted in the series premiere, Metamorphosis. And while Cleo and Rikki stayed on for the remainder of the series, Emma left after the final episode of season 2. And thus, Bella made her debut and joined the two in the debut episode of season 3, The Awakening. In contrast to Emma and Rikki, Cleo is often awkward, insecure, emotional, and a little shy. She is the most empathetic out of all three girls. Cleo loves her fish and enjoys taking care of them extensively. When Pluto, one of her saltwater fish, died, Cleo became saddened by his departure, which you can't really blame her for, honestly. Unlike Rikki, Cleo believes that fish are just like people that live, eat, and play underwater. Another sea mammal that she is mostly empathetic to are the dolphins. At the SeaWorld Marine Park, where she works part-time, Cleo shares a close bond with a dolphin named Ronnie. Cleo enjoys being a mermaid, but she is very protective and extremely cautious around water. Rikki is the exact opposite of Emma, not just in their magical powers, but also in their personalities as well. While Emma is confident, controlling, and responsible, Rikki is quite rebellious, independent, sarcastic, and carefree, making the two argue often, but make up in the end. Unlike Emma, who tends to hold her tongue in certain situations, Rikki frequently speaks her mind without euphemism, or without care that her opinions might hurt other people's feelings. She has a hard time sympathizing with people who are in pain, and sometimes she can be very stubborn and has a short temper. Rikki has a strong, adventurous streak, and is the first to fully embrace the possibilities of the girls' new powers. Despite their arguments, Rikki and Emma do get along a lot of the times, and Rikki genuinely cares for her friends. Not only does Rikki show her rebellious nature freely, but she encourages it in her friends as well. Despite her carefree nature, Rikki is capable of displaying a sense of responsibility, especially when it comes to money. Emma has a confident and responsible, if somewhat controlling, personality. She tends to worry if things get out of control. She is also very organized. Living in a perfect family lifestyle, she developed a need to be a perfectionist. She enjoys being the most organized of the girls and can't help but encourage others to do the same. Kinda like Thomas. As well as being a driven individual, Emma once dedicated her free time in training for her regional swimming competition, although she resigned after turning into a mermaid because it precludes her from swimming. Emma retains a bit of a driven personality. She does seem to be more empathetic than Rikki when it comes to understanding other people's feelings and daily problems. She tends to express many concerns for her friends and would even go out of their way to try and do the impossible for them. Like me right now. Oftentimes, Emma would disagree and argue with Rikki, while in contrast to Rikki's rebellious and carefree personality, Emma is controlling and organized, and because of their opposite personalities and different ideals, Emma and Rikki often argue and have various conflicts, leaving Cleo stuck in the middle. Mermaid in the middle. I'm joking. Also, another trait for Emma is bossy. While arguing with Rikki, she bosses her around without knowing that it sometimes hurts her feelings. Well, doesn't that sound familiar? Bella is a bubbly ball of energy who's easy to talk with. When she was little, she enjoyed walking around the island fields while her parents were at work. She's funny and sarcastic at times, but supports her friends. She can be a bit naive, trusts people too quickly, and ignores what others tell her, but when she recognizes her mistakes, she does whatever she can to fix it. She's a bit withdrawn and sensitive because she's a mermaid, meaning she's afraid to reveal herself, but deep inside, she cares deeply for her friends. And, a bit of a fun fact of the day here for you guys. In my series, Bella is passionate when it comes to music, hence why she's a singer in the official series. Just wanted to throw that in there. Now, since all four are solely live-action characters, obviously, they're portrayed by live-action actors. Phoebe Tonkin portrays Cleo, Kariva Hine portrays Rikki, Claire Holt portrays Emma, and Indiana Evans portrays Bella. And all four absolutely knock it out of the park for portraying their characters. Exactly what you need for a live-action drama series like this. Now, as of this recording, I haven't seen a vast majority of the episodes from H2O. Yeah, I know. I'm fascinated by these characters, and yet, I've not really watched most of the series. So like the Diesel 10 video, instead of going through what is the best and worst role the four have had individually, I will be instead going over some of my favorite moments from the clips that I have seen. And then maybe, once I've seen the whole show, I can then make the decision on what the four's best and weakest moments in the series is. But anyways, one moment that I feel like is worth mentioning is this little scene from the beginning of Season 3's Crime and Punishment. Yeah, what episode name that is. It's where Cleo and Bella make a Little Mermaid sculpture, because it's Rikki's birthday. This is a really nice scene, seeing the two antics and seeing just what Bella's powers can really do. Another little scene that I think was pretty funny was this scene here from the first season, as where Rikki gives the girl Zane is currently dating a strawberry milkshake when she is allergic to strawberry. Like, damn, you do not want to with Rikki in this scene. But I also love how Zane just doesn't give a about the milkshake and just gets a chuckle out of it when push comes to shove. Like, damn, Zane. There are quite a few other scenes I could point out, but I think it's more so to do with Cleo more so than anything. And plus, I'm kinda running out of energy as of now. So, on to the final conclusion for this series. Cleo, Rikki, Emma and Bella are truly something, alright. They've been through a lot, and they've gone on quite a few roller coaster journeys when it comes to their relationships with the person they admire or love. Especially with Rikki in Season 3. Like, yeesh! After what Zane did when he kissed Sophie? Could you really blame her for getting upset over Zane's stunt? I think I would be too if I was in that situation. I'll be going over all this stuff when I eventually get around to covering H2O in a future video. But for now, you can enjoy these guys in my series for the time being, as they are truly one of a kind when it comes to a fully live-action series. And with that, we have finally reached the end of this year's iteration of the character highlight reels. This was absolutely exhausting. in terms of writing all these scripts and editing them little by little. But I hope each and every single one of you enjoyed this marathon. And let me know what your favorite characters were that I have covered in this series. I'd love to know all your personal preferences. And now I have done the first of the 3 big projects for this year. The second will be the Pixar reviews coming this month. I hope you guys are ready for that, because this was something that I put the most amount of effort into for this channel. But if you guys want to stay tuned for that, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications to stay up to date and to not miss out on the newest content. Until next time, bye guys.